What's going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my UFC 95 review video. Good night of fights. Had some upsets, some vicious knockouts, all the way to a very, very good main event. So make sure you check this event out if you didn't get to see it. I'm going to go over the fights I did predictions on, of course. So let's go ahead and cut to the chase and get right to it. First fight of the night, Paulo Thiago taking on Josh Koscheck. Both guys came out tentative on the feet. Koscheck going for leg kicks, good 1-2 combinations. Trying to push forward on Thiago. Thiago, an unorthodox striker. If you've seen any of his previous fights, like I had mentioned, he's got, semi-decent hands. But man, Koscheck gets into an exchange with Thiago. Thiago lands a beautiful right uppercut, a looping left hook that drops Koscheck. The ref steps in, and Thiago wins via knockout. This was a controversial stoppage, at least to the fans and even some of the people I've talked off and on in person that watched the event. One thing about that knockout, and it's something that you saw even happen with the Rampage Jackson Chuck Liddell fight, where Rampage actually knocked him out, hit him a second time, and knocked Chuck back into consciousness. If a similar thing happened with Koscheck, where he was out on his feet, and then when his head hit the canvas, he came back into consciousness, if the ref saw his eyes roll back, it was a justified stoppage. So if that happened, and it sounds like that's what did happen, it was a justified stoppage. So Paulo Thiago wins via knockout. Very, very impressive. One thing he definitely needs to work on, though, is his striking and his hands. Very, very unorthodox striker. Had his left hand low, which if any other guy in this division, like a Lytle, an Alves, even a Marcus Davis, if Thiago comes in against any of them like that, he's going to run into some serious problems. Koscheck always learns from his losses. Hopefully in his next fight he continues to learn from his mistakes and looks good in his next fight. So congratulations to Paulo Thiago and his UFC debut. On to the next fight, Demian Maia taking on Chael Sonnen. Really no surprise here. Both guys came out. Chael Sonnen had a couple good combinations. Ended up on the ground a little bit with Demian Maia, where Demian Maia was trying to pull guard. Up against the cage, Demian Maia gets this beautiful trip sweep takedown into mount with his right. I'm trying to remember if it was his right leg locked into Chael Sonnen's head. Already set up for the triangle choke. Rolls it over, locks it in, makes Chael Sonnen tap, and Demian Maia wins via first round submission. Continues to show why he's not only one of the best grapplers in the world, Abu Dhabi wise, but one of the best grapplers that has transitioned into MMA. If this fight didn't put him into title contention, if he wins his next fight, there's no doubt about it, this guy is definitely going to be in line for a title shot. Alright, next fight, Wilson Gouveia taking on Nate Marquardt. Man, Nate Marquardt put on an absolute clinic in this fight. Very, very impressive. Gouveia had some bright spots where he came forward, was very aggressive, had some good combinations, actually rocked Marquardt a little bit in the first round, but Marquardt was very elusive, used good combinations, kept resetting well, good switch kicks, good inside leg kicks, good high kicks, good 1-2 combinations, the Superman punch repeatedly, had a couple good takedowns, some good ground and pound. In the second round, had Gouveia hurt really bad at the end of the second. In the third, lands a beautiful flying knee, throws a switch kick, high kick, that just rocks Gouveia even worse. Gouveia ends up against the cage. Marquardt throws some good combinations, finishes it, and the ref steps in, and Nate Marquardt wins via third-round TKO. Marquardt continues to progress, and it really has shown since that loss to Anderson Silva in his striking. We saw that with Campman in that fight. Man, he's on his way back towards another title shot, so look out for him. For Wilson Gouveia, hopefully he'll learn from this loss, continue to do well in his camp. He looked good in this fight up until the point he got hurt. So hopefully we'll get to see some more good things from him in the future. All right, on to the next fight. Dan Hardy taking on Rory Markham. Sorry, that moved the laptop. Man, Dan Hardy came out. Rory Markham came out. Rory Markham had a good leg kick. Dan Hardy just against the cage. Rory Markham was moving forward through a good 1-2 combination. Drops Rory Markham. Comes forward on him. Throws another shot. The ref steps in, and Dan Hardy wins via knockout. Vicious knockout, quick knockout. Hardy looked impressive. Look forward to seeing him in his next fight. For Rory Markham, hopefully he learns from this loss. I think he will. Of course, IFL vet, very, very well known throughout the IFL. He'll be back. So congratulations to Dan Hardy, though. Vicious, vicious knockout. All right, on to the main event. Diego Sanchez taking on Joe Stevenson. A 3-round clinic by Diego. Just all around, had good combinations, kept throwing that beautiful left jab, or excuse me, that beautiful right jab, left hook, left straight, kept throwing the beautiful body shot with the left hand, kept throwing good high kicks, good leg kicks, scrambling, doing well against Stevenson. Stevenson, for the most part was just boxing, trying to get inside on Diego, had a couple good combinations in the first, had a couple at the end of the third, but for the most part, Diego controlled this fight on the feet, outstruck Joe Stevenson. Joe had a guillotine attempt, I can't remember what round it was, where Diego just picked him up and slammed him. That was nice. But like I said, for the most part, Diego Sanchez outstruck Joe in this fight, outclinched him, outdid him on the ground even, was able to impose his will, have good combinations, and Diego wins a unanimous decision. He looks good at this weight. I will retract my statement from my prediction video saying that he might have trouble cutting down to this. He did a very good job of managing his weight and making the cut properly, and it showed in this fight. So congratulations to Diego and his debut at 155. I'm sure his next fight is going to look very impressive of whoever they match him up with. He's definitely, I think, at least on a collision course with Kenny Florian. I think that fight is going to happen somewhere down the road. If Diego continues to win at 155, so look out for that. And for Joe, he's got to go back. He's got to get a little bit more well-rounded. He's continued to look, the same as he, did. Excuse me. He's continuing to look the same as he did from the Ultimate Fighter to now. So hopefully he goes back, refines his training, works on getting more well-rounded, and hopefully we see him come back in his next fight. So. That is it. Make sure you check out my sponsors at the end of the video. Their links are over on this side. I will be back sometime next week to do my UFC 96 and WEC predictions. And as always, leave some comments. And on that note, you guys have a great day.